Okay, welcome back, guys, to BoxerBaddies. Today is the day that we get this FA20 DIT back in the Subi and running again. As long as everything goes smoothly, we should have no problem. So I've already re-gapped the spark plugs. We got some brand new NGK iridiums that are gonna go into the block. So we're gonna slap those in. We have a ACT clutch and flywheel assembly that's gonna also go onto this bad boy right here. It's gonna be dope. Okay, so jumping right into things, we are gonna be using the NGK iridium spark plugs. We're gonna go ahead and start popping those in. I already did the other side, so now we're gonna do this side. They are properly gapped. Seems like the WRXs prefer the 0.20 range to 0.022 on the gap. So we're gonna try this out. Worst case scenario, we need to re-gap them, but I think I have it dialed in perfectly. And let's go ahead and get them in there. Now, one thing you'll notice here, they have these little crush washers. When you're tightening these, you'll notice you can feel the crush washer starting to crush. Now, you only wanna do about half a turn once you start feeling that, and your plug should be in the proper position. So I'm gonna do that now, and I'm gonna lay the coil packs on top of them. Alrighty, guys, so we have all 4 coil packs in. We have the spark plugs in. We're basically at the point now where we can put it back on the engine hoist. All we're waiting on now is the clutch and flywheel, which sad boy Subi is going to get right now. He left it at his house, so he's going to grab that. And before we do that, we're gonna have to remember to put on this little reluctor plate, or this plate that has these teeth on it, because what happens is there's a little sensor right there. And what it does is it keeps track of the teeth and keeps track of the rotation of the engine. So we gotta make sure we put that on before we put everything else on, and then we're good to go. This engine is going back in the car. One other little piece that we need to get off of this engine before it goes back in, it'll be much easier to do it this way, is to get off the entire EGR setup here. So this entire mechanism is going to be coming off, and these 2 hoses are going to be joined by this little 90-degree fitting. And then we've already installed the 90-degree fitting here. I just need to push this forward, of course, and slide the clamps on, and that is our EGR delete. And we already have 1 block off plate installed there, and the other block off plate is actually sitting right there on the intake manifold. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. That way we don't have to worry about it when it's back in the car. Okay, so we were just taking off the stock boost control solenoid, and it turns out that we ordered the wrong one from Grimspeed. The one that we ordered is for an aftermarket turbo, which I didn't think we saw that.
No.
And but we're still going to be able to start the car up, and no problem at all. And Grimspeed, their customer service is awesome as always. They're going to send us a new one, no problem. And we still have the bypass valve, which we're going to throw in there real quick, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, and it has finally arrived. This is the ACT Advanced Clutch Technology. What is this? Which one did we get? Is this the street? Stage 2. Stage 2 clutch. Ooh, I like that. Stage 2 clutch right here for the WRX, as well as the pressure plate, and we can't forget the brand new lightweight flywheel. So this is going to be really fun to put in. Should be pretty quick too. And there is our pressure plate. Okay, so now we are at the important part of putting on the flywheel assembly. We have the new flywheel on there. We cleaned off all of that grease that comes on there. We have the little reluctor plate back there, and we are ready to put in our last bolt. So we're gonna do that right now. Torque all these down to about 55 pounds. Boom, there we go. We got the clutch, flywheel, and pressure plate on, and now we are ready to put this bad boy back in the car. So let's do that now. Okay, here we go. She is going back into the car. We're gonna go ahead and meet up the input shaft into the clutch. So here we go. Let's get it.
2 hours later.
This part is the worst part of all the engine build. I hate it, trying to get the splines to match up with the clutch and the pilot bearing in there, but I think we're getting pretty dang close. So we're gonna keep at it.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
And there she is. She is now married to the transmission. I don't even want to admit how long this took. I'll just say it was over 4 hours. There is something between me and linking transmissions and engines together. I don't know what it is, but I'm working it out. The last one took much longer than this one, so I'm slowly getting better, I guess. So anyways, we'll forget about that. That did not happen. But now we are here. All we got to do is put on the intake manifold. We have to do the wiring harness, and boom, we're going to have this thing running by tonight, right now. Shit. Yeah. Shout out to Josh for helping out. Yeah. And we have to give a very, very due shout out to Import Image Racing. They came in mega clutch because when we were jacking the engine up with the hoist, we somehow broke that there. Yeah. And so anyways, it was an excuse to buy the aluminum, raw aluminum, Killer B breather, what was this called? Breather, coolant breather fitting assembly. So we're gonna slap that on. Okay guys, so I have basically installed the entire wiring harness. That really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I have the intake manifold on. I have some of the PCV stuff done, and we're very close. All we need to do is the alternator and the little vacuum pump that sits here. I gotta secure in the AC compressor and button up a few other things, and we are almost there. All right guys, so we got everything all ready to go. We are going to be using a donor car for the top mount intercooler just because the front mount is not here yet from Grimspeed. And that's on us just because we ordered a special color and they didn't have it in stock. But we swapped it up and it'll actually be here tomorrow. But we want to see the engine start. So we've got this one right here ready to go. I have done the intake. I've done the alternator, the pulley belt. I've done everything. We are so close to starting this engine for the first time. Are you ready? Yes, what you don't know is this man is literally food poisoned right now. He's been throwing up all night. He's really been having a rough time.
I'm only driven by the car starting, if I'm being honest.
Exactly. I don't know how he's like alive right now. He ate some gas station food, and that's probably not again, right?
Never. Never again.
And here we are, standing right in front of the WRX, just as it was before we took out the engine. We are now ready to include the fluids, make sure nothing's leaking on fill up. Then we'll put the battery in and we will turn the key. So let's start adding fluids and see what happens. Alrighty, so we have filled up everything with oil and coolant, and there are no leaks as of right now, which is a really good sign. It means everything is together so far, but that might change when we turn the car on. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna just let that settle for a second. I'm gonna go load up the access port. We'll get the battery in. Let's get it. Okay, so we are at the point where we are ready to start the car. We have to upload the tune that Drew gave us at Nerd Performance. So where's Julian at? All right, so
No way.
you don't have to. Isn't that awesome?
That is cool.
All right, so we had to fix a little fuel issue that was going on in there. Every time we cranked the engine, there was a little loose fuel connection on one of the rails down there. So we tightened that up, got it back ready to go, and Ryan is going to go ahead and crank it over for us. You almost got it. Needs to turn a little to the right. There it goes. Yep. Oh, let's go. What a beast. Showing us how it's done. All right, so now the engine should crank over. Oh boy. All right, nice. All right, let's go ahead and try cranking it over. Oh. Go ahead, go again. All right, one more time. Okay, turn it off. All right, let's try it again. Give it a little gas, give it gas. Okay, stop. Huh?
but it's got to learn itself.
Turn it off. All right, guys, so hours and hours later, we finally got the car turned over. It started, but it's definitely misfiring. Something's up with it. We got to figure that out. There's one other concerning thing that I saw. We are actually leaking oil from the rear of the engine somewhere, so I'm a little skeptical about that. Hopefully it's an easy fix. Please no rear main seal. Oh my God, that would be terrible. But it's an OEM short block, so it shouldn't be that. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. On the next one, you're gonna see it start for the first time the legit way.